Listening to.
You're listening.
Yo, what up, bitches? You're listening to Hey Poopy Podcast. Get your shit on.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things, about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?
And now, the Hey Poopy Podcast with Dave and Ellen.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're back on Dump Day.
Yes, it is our favorite day, Dump Day. And this is the Hey Poopy Podcast with
Dave
and Ellen. And this is episode 95, but it'll always be number 2 to us. And we have a very important special guest today, Ted Alexandro.
Thank you.
Did I say that right?
Alexandro.
Oh my God. I wrote it down with no R because I'm dyslexic as fuck.
That's all right. I'm fine with that.
Sorry.
You just gave him a whole new name.
I did. Oh my God. I'm terrible.
Well,
I disagree.
Well, Ted, thank you so much for taking time out to being on our little show. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. I'm excited. I was really excited when you guys reached out. I feel like this is my wheelhouse, so thank you.
Well, it was funny because I saw one of your little comedy clips on Instagram about a story you told about. I think it was post wedding day, when you get married. And I showed it to Ellen, and she was like, "Let's book him."
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Again, thank you.
Oh, yeah. No,
I didn't even say let's book him. I was like, we should try to get him. And then you emailed me back that you were down. And I was like, Dave, I got your boy. And he was like, what are you talking about?
I was very excited. Very, very excited. But again, one more time, thank you for being on the show.
Yes.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, and I can jump into that story anytime you like. You just let me know. But that has become a bit of a calling card, at least comedically. As you guys know, many people have a story where they shit their pants, but this one, it actually took a little while to get it into my act, almost because I felt like, it's just a story about shitting my pants, But then I didn't realize what a human, just connective tissue that is. So I'm glad that eventually, about a year later, I started telling it on stage, and it stayed in the act.
That's amazing. Well, it is the great equalizer. Everybody's done it, or at least come close. And if they haven't shit their pants, I think they're lying. I feel like everybody's been there.
Literally done 95 episodes about people shitting their pants. So
yeah, it never ends.
We're going to keep going.
Yeah. It's the gift that keeps on giving. For me, the thing that made it so unique. I don't know if I'm the first or not. I would not be so bold as to suggest that I am. But in 95 episodes, I wonder: have you had somebody who shit their pants the first thing arriving home from their wedding?
No.
Okay, good. So this is new terrain.
This is new.
Yeah. Well, basically, I'm sorry.
We have had people on the show who are like, well, I did this thing where I pooped, and we were like, oh yeah, somebody we interviewed before, they did the same, and they're like, I'm not. Oh my God, I thought I was the only one. I was like, no,
you're not special.
But you, Ted, are the only one.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, what a way to start your life, your wedded life. As I say in the bit, I just consumed. I think due to the adrenaline, the occasion. My wife and I had a 3-day wedding weekend in New Jersey, where she's from, and so coming back off that high and being rather exhausted. I'm usually like a 1 cup of coffee guy in the morning. That'll do me. But I literally had 5 that morning.
Woo!
You're playing with fire there, my friend.
Yes. I found that out. Because it was like I had one. I backed it up with the second because I knew we had a long drive. then on the drive we stopped. I was like, I got another like big one that was essentially 2. And then my wife had like a jug, so I took some of that as well, just to kind of like keep me up. And so by the time, I'm sure you've been through this experience, like as you're nearing your destination, you're feeling the percolation, and you're just like, you're gauging like, am I going to make it? I'm newly married, so I've already got her, the contract is binding. It's in the vows. Yeah.
For better, for worse, right?
That's right.
Ted, we've talked about on this podcast many a times that love is not romance. Love is helping your partner clean out their shitty pants that they just crapped in. That's true love.
Yeah, you're right. And, so what a perfect wake, because as we neared our apartment, I was feeling it intensify. So, I've been in that situation before, as we all have, and you're kind of just and we live on the 4th floor of
oh my
the 4th
God.
story walk-up. Yeah. So you're factoring that in, And as I say in the joke, like each floor that I made it to was like one less floor that would know that I had shit my pants. So it was like, all right, first floor done, second,
It's like a video game.
Right,
leveling up.
Right, as if the building wouldn't talk about it. Like I'm sure word would travel pretty fast no matter what floor I'm in.
Oh yeah. Did you hear it happen above the floor?
Yes. So I make it, and as I turn the knob, it was one of those. It's such a weird kind of almost thing of biology in your body, like your brain and your butt communicating and almost having a sense of relief that, when your hand's on the doorknob, you kind of get the message like we're home.
Yes.
So like it was almost as literally as soon as I turned the knob, just my bowels opened.
Oh my God.
My first act as a married man returning home was to shit my pants. And it was the most humiliating yet liberating thing I've ever experienced. It was like a metaphor for marriage. So, yeah.
Well, it's like you said, like, you guys, the deal's been done. It's been sealed.
That's right.
It would
right.
It would be more of a nightmare if it was like a first date kind of situation. Or like
That's a true test. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Dave, like fortunately in that scenario, it was almost like more comical for me. Like, oh, she's going to be up in a few minutes and this is what's going to greet her. It was like, at the time, like 48-year-old man, you've left aside a lot of the vanity of like maybe your 20s or 30s where you would panic. And especially having just gotten married, it's like, well, I think basically what I'm doing is welcoming you to the rest of your life.
You start low, you can just only go high.
Exactly.
Right? It's like,
I mean, if you're already starting there, that's like, it's only up from there, baby.
That's right.
And I'm not assuming your religion, but isn't that why they break the glass during a Jewish ceremony? Is like they do that so you break something to get like the bad out so you can have a good wedding, like you shit your pants to have a great marriage.
I may have started a new religion.
Exactly. Actually, I think it's part of our religion. You're welcome into our congregation.
Yeah.
Thank you. I feel safe. It's a safe space.
It is.
And you know what? To your point, Ellen, when my wife did come, it was really funny because my first thought was, how am I going to clean this all up? But she said, "Oh, we're throwing those shorts away." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess that's probably a move."
Yeah.
So we salvaged what we could, but we also we threw away part of the outfit.
Oof.
Oh my God.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot on this podcast. What do you save and what do you not? Like, underwear usually is a goner.
Oh, that's a question.
But if you have like expensive pair of jeans on, you probably will try to salvage them.
Oh yeah, for sure. It really just depends on how much you paid for them, how recently you bought them. You know, if it was one of those things in your closet where you're kind of constantly debating whether or not it goes, you know, shitting on it is almost like a gift to be rid of it.
Mine's made up.
You don't need to Marie Kondo anything. Just shit on it.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's going to be your definition of if it makes you happy or not.
This does not bring me joy.
Yeah. How much joy does it bring you with shit on it?
Yeah, not much.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh. Since we went into your awesome story first, we usually start with a check-in though. So let's rewind a little. And before we go into more of your stories, Ted, we'd like to know, how have you been pooping recently?
You know, recently I've been on a really nice run. Yeah,
Ooh.
it's been good and frequent. And, you know, I'm a married man, as I said, and now we have a 9-month-old baby boy. So poop is really central to our everyday existence now. And my own poop has been good. And it's kind of a respite now. It's a bit of a sanctuary, a chance to get away. And just yesterday, this is true, my wife yelled into the bathroom. She was kind of dealing with the baby, and things can be hectic. So, like, when you're in the bathroom, it's like your time out where, like, you know, it's like, I'd love to help, but, you know, I'm busy. So she yelled, like, what are you doing in there again? Because it was, like, the second and kind of, you know, I don't even think it was afternoon yet. And I literally said to her, I was like, this is all I have. This is my chance.
This is my time.
Yeah, to have a moment, you know.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, a 9-month-old, like we've had people on the show before with newborns and their younger kids, and it's just like, a lot of poop talk. And again, the bathroom is kind of that oasis. So,
for sure.
I feel for you.
Sure. Yeah. It's just like you can't, you know, it's the only thing that really can't be negotiated. Like if I wanted to go for a walk or I wanted to meet friends or something like that, that's like almost absurd to even ask for. But going to take a poop is like, hey, you know, I have to.
Nature calls.
Yeah, I mean, don't you remember when we got home from our wedding? That's like that's my
That's your bargaining.
Yeah. Let's rewind here.
I bring that out often. I'm like, it's not an idle threat. I will do it.
Yeah, I've done it once. Who knows? Oh, that is so great.
What about you, Dave? How you been pooping?
Pretty good. I have been doing this thing where I've been doing that papaya extract after dinner. I mean, not that I don't have a problem with like pooping at all, but I figured I bought this giant like bottle of it. I might as well use it. And then up until like 2 weeks ago, I was just taking one pill and actually read the instructions on the back and it says 3. So the 3, it's been like excellent. The second I wake up in the morning, it's just like, it's go time. Like I'm running into the bathroom.
Are you still doing 4s? Are you?
I did a 3 this morning on the Bristol stool shirt.
It's a little more solid.
Yeah, and then today, but as you know, as the day goes on, they become less and less quality. So I mean, it's fine. It's getting out. That's all I care.
I wonder if the papaya is like helping you bind because
I mean, maybe
you're so loose.
Loose in the caboose for sure. But it's been it's been pretty normal. Nothing
I was not aware.
About.
Is papaya is like a natural laxative?
Yeah, it helps with just cleaning things out. We had a guest on it that takes it all the time, and he was saying he's never had a problem. He's just like totally regular. So I figured, let me try this, and it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, papaya enzymes are great for your digestive tract. It's not in the probiotic world, but it's like a probiotic.
Okay,
yeah, it's a little chewable ones, but
yeah.
And I just bought a little thing on from my little health food shop around the corner. So they're great. So if anybody's having any issues with that, try the papaya extract. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Nice. Ellen, I'm sure you have a quite epic check-in. Ellen usually has pretty like incredible Raiders of the Lost Ark adventures.
A roller coaster of emotions. So yes, I have another epic check-in for y'all. I, over the weekend, was a slightly bit constipated, so I decided to take a Swiss Chris, like I love, and the next day, first thing out of the gate in the morning, made a huge shit and was shitting all day, not in my pants, but in the toilet, at least 3 times. Felt very, very clear and clean down below. And like the day before, I was so constipated that like literally my waistline, I could feel stretch marks forming. And I was like, oh my God, I just need to shit already. And I was like, oh yeah, I have Swiss Chris. So the only reason like I wasn't even thinking about the Swiss Chris is my partner was having stomach issues. Gerald, who's been on the podcast, and I'm going to talk about him a lot. He was having these like gut issues that he thought he pulled a muscle, then he thought it was gas, then he was like, I think I'm constipated. So I was trying to force him to do a suppository. And of course he wouldn't because he was being a pussy about it. I was like, stick your finger up your ass and get it over with. But of course he didn't want to. But the suppository was like laying there on the sink waiting for him, but kind of winking at me too. And so I was like,
it's like, hey, buddy.
Yeah, I was like, maybe. And I was like, nah, I'll just Swiss Chris it. Like, let's not go. I use the suppositories only when you really, really need it. So finally, Gerald used that massager thing that's like, you know, the one that everybody has.
Oh, like little impact. Yeah.
That everybody has. He used it on his side, and he started blasting off the most craziest farts. So, like, this stomach pain he had was literally just gas trapped inside of his colon that he was banging out of his system with the Theragun. So that was exciting. And then
I love to use I love to use a physical therapy piece of equipment to make him fart.
Yes.
Very nice.
He needed to go deep.
Okay.
And then Ted's story kind of reminds me about when you put your hand on the doorknob and like there's like this mind-body connection where your body's like, well, yep, I'm close enough. I don't need to sit on the toilet. Yesterday, we came back from New Jersey with the pets, and I was by myself, and I double parked the car because we live in Brooklyn to let the pets in, and I had to pee so badly. And of course, there was a fucking garbage truck behind me. And I was like, are you kidding? And they're like honking, and I was like, I literally have 2 cats in my hands and a fucking dog. And I'm like, I just need to shove them in the apartment, and I'll just wait to pee. So I like shoved them in the apartment, ran back out, flicked the fucking garbage truck out because, as you all know, we've all waited behind garbage trucks. So fuck them that they couldn't wait behind me.
That's right.
So I flicked them off. I get in the car. I moved to the fire hydrant that's like a while away, double park, and ran back in. And as soon as I got into the hallway of my building, just started peeing my pants.
Oh
wow!
Oh my God!
Peed my pants, and I know it's not poop, but it just reminds me of like I didn't even have to go that badly, but the mind-body connection of being in my building, and I was like, son of a bitch! Now I'm double parked in front of a fire hydrant. I have to change my pants and my underwear. I'm a fucking mess.
Jesus.
Now, was it the kind of pants that could hide it a little bit, or was it it made it obvious?
It wasn't a faux bladder, but it was a big puddle in my pants. So yes, I had to change them.
There was a release.
I was at home. Yeah,
there was a release.
Visually, for anyone like passersby, was it obvious?
If there was but thankfully it only happened in the hallway of my building. The only thing that may have caught it is the security camera.
Okay.
Which I installed. It's my security camera. So
destroy the tapes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get rid of those damn tapes.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like I literally, now that we're on FaceTime, I could show you, but I was walking like hunched over, like, please don't pee your pants. Come on, don't pee your pants.
Oh,
of course
yeah.
I did.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But, you know, I'm glad that happened because it always makes for interesting radio.
Yeah. You know, I'll admit it.
For sure. I have not had anything like that in a long time, but I feel like I need to there needs to be something so just catastrophic for me to like top Ellen's stuff, because mine's just like, yeah, I went to the bathroom again. just normal going to the bathroom.
I think you should start drinking coffee, like 5 cups.
The recipe is there, my friend.
Yeah, you know, I'm not a coffee drinker. I think I've had 5 cups of coffee in my 47 years on this earth. So, yeah, I'm not a fan, but maybe for the show. Oh, God.
You got to suffer for your art.
Exactly, right?
I think we should do a coffee enema on you.
Oh, my God.
Put it in one of your orifices.
Yeah, right? It's going up top or bottom. Pick one.
Yeah. Pick your poison.
You know what artist I think of immediately when you mention Swiss Chris?
Oh, what?
Louis Armstrong.
Oh,
He He was a big Swiss Chris advocate. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I studied jazz piano in college, and I remember one of our professors talking about how Louis Armstrong swore by Swiss Chris.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
he
That's
had
amazing.
Digestive issues?
I guess so. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like
Wow.
his deal.
That's
We
awesome.
only learned about Swiss Chris from another guest on the podcast that they told us, like, if they have a serious night out, like especially eating like shitty food, they like him and his wife will pop a Swiss Chris before. And I was like, what is this magical laxative? I need to know more about it. So yeah, it's now become my best friend.
Yeah. Just so like after a night out, just to kind of preemptively get it all out.
Yeah.
I mean, usually they were saying if they're going out to like eat, like there a lot of rich food or just like, just gross fast food. It's either one of those two.
I'm kind of a purist with my shits. Like I either want to just let it come when it does, or shit my pants if I have to. But I'm not going to interfere with nature.
Right. You're just letting it happen one way or the other.
That's right. Yeah. No laxative. No.
Okay.
I'm not going to play the hand of God. I'm just going to let it happen.
If I don't have laxatives in my life, I will be 300 pounds full of shit and would die already. Like,
Yeah, that's Alan's.
I get it.
I need them.
I bought a
no
thing.
judgment.
I bought a thing like Swiss Chris for the show just to check it out, and I think I've used like one tablet. It's still like
You could give them to me when I
I know
run
it's
out of mine.
completely full. Like I feel like it's like here you go. Here's a big bottle, and it's like brushing up the dust.
That reminds me, Dave, we need to hang out because I got that sneak-a-squeak for you.
Oh, this is we had a guest that I was talking about these things. They're They're supposed to like
it's
mask your farts, I believe.
Yeah, it's supposed to mask your farts, kind of like those rose pills we have too. So
Oh, okay.
Now it's by mask you mean mask the smell. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it'll still be as loud as it is, depending on.
it just won't be so stinky.
Depending on your tenor, I guess, or your
yeah.
timbre. But yes, I will definitely when we meet up again, we will for sure do that.
Yeah, talking about bottles of pills.
Yeah. This will all be cut out.
Ted, can you tell our audience who you are and what you do? And besides pooping your
Sure.
pants.
Absolutely, I do many things, among which is pooping my pants. But I'm a stand-up comedian by trade. I've been a comedian for about 27 years,
Awesome.
and started in New York City, and I've been traveling most recently up until the pandemic. I was the opening act for Jim Gaffigan, so for about 6 years. He and I were all over the world. Yeah, so that's been kind of fun because, with him, I play everything from theaters to big arenas like NBA or NHL arenas, like
Awesome.
10,000.
Oh, it's crazy.
15,000. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's a nice balance of, my own gigs. I do comedy clubs. And then with Jim, I play the big rooms, as they say.
Nice.
With nice bathrooms, which is always a plus.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I can't even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine it's a lot better than what you normally get in New York City.
Yeah. Like if I do have to shit pre-show, and by the way, I should say that's one of my rituals pre-show when I'm on the road. Like just to kind of, I don't know if it's like a mental thing of clearing out. But almost always, like when I'm on the road, like the production manager will come looking for me, and he knocks on the door, and he's like, "Are you shitting?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Bingo.
It's better to do it in the toilet than on stage.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I
It would
can
make for a fantastic story, though.
That's true. Yeah. That's one I hope to avoid. I'm happy with the shit story that I have.
Yeah, you're like, that's good. We can leave that.
Yeah.
No,
We had one comedian on the show, Margaret Cho, who did shit her pants while she was on stage. And she said she was wearing all white, and she literally was backing up and backed into her car, and people were like clapping and cheering, and she was like, I can't believe I'm shitting my pants right now when I decided to wear all white.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I actually opened for Margaret at Caroline's back in the day.
Oh, nice.
And to my knowledge, she did not shit her pants that way.
Oh my God. I mean, I imagine too, like, I mean, we talked to a lot of people, performers that talk about traveling. And do you get like, when you're on the road a lot, depending obviously which type of venue you're playing at, but do you get like any kind of like weird bubble guts or like any kind of, distress, I guess, when you're on the road? Not like necessarily on stage, but just like,
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe that's part of the reason why I often shit before a show. Is like the excitement or the nerves, the adrenaline, like needs somewhere to go. So that's kind of like the easiest way. And maybe there is like a comfort in it too. It's just like that alone time, and also maybe just time to get your head together. So it kind of melds all things that are beneficial actually to getting ready for a performance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I mean, that's
Totally.
I could imagine going on stage in front of 10,000 people and being like, I have to shit so bad. While I'm trying to make people laugh.
Yeah.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have had things where like I cut it close for whatever reason. I remember one time actually where the flights were canceled and I was trying to get to Wilmington, North Carolina. And I had to take this circuitous route where I couldn't fly in to there. So I had to like rent a car and drive 8 hours. Oof. And I arrived pretty much at showtime. And it was one of those like where you're on the cusp where like I'm not going to say I have to shit, but I would really like the opportunity. But it was like they were more or less announcing my name within like 2 minutes of arrival.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there was no chance to.
Yeah, and then once you're on stage, you're pretty much 45 or 50 minutes away from a toilet.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I muscled through. But I think, it's a weird thing about being on stage where your body almost kind of rids you of any maladies. Because I've been like, like running a fever or kind of fluish or like just not feeling, myself. And in this case, kind of feeling like I had a shit. But it almost just goes away the second because I guess your mind is so occupied and you're really focused and concentrating. So thankfully, I'm not going to say it'll never happen, but I have.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not. We don't want to put that bad juju on you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a freelance photographer, and I've talked about this a bunch of times on the podcast. Like, if I wake up in the morning for a shoot, I don't poop that entire day for some reason my body just holds it in because I'm thinking about too many other things. But I do have terrible gas the entire day. Nice. And I photograph naked models, and I'm blasting off farts while they're trying to be sexy. It's not a great combination.
It's funny. You reminded me, Ellen, one time at the Comedy Cellar. The Comedy Cellar famously has the Olive Tree Cafe upstairs, and that's where the comedians kind of hang out before your set, it comes up. So it was time for me to go on stage. And then there's this long, narrow staircase that you go down from the Olive Tree to the Comedy Cellar. And I just ripped off this serious fart coming down the stairs because there was no one around. And then wouldn't you know it, like one of the waitresses turns the corner and comes up the stairs.
Oh no.
And walks right into it. Oh. And so I didn't say anything. But, so I get to the bottom of the stairs. She gets to the top. She turns around and she's like, "Was that you?" And I said, yeah, I'm sorry. You walked right. So to this day, she still gives me grief about pretty much farting in her face. I was reminded of that as you were telling that story. Yeah.
Wow,
hot air rises, so she was going up with the hot air.
Oh yeah, she got the full blast.
Oofta.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a story I never told before on the podcast. Where years ago I used to be really, really into karaoke, like in my 20s, and my cousin came to watch me do karaoke. We were kind of in the back of the room, and they called my name, and I grabbed my cousin's hand and I ran up to the stage so he could be closer to me. All the while, I'm literally farting the entire way up to the stage. And I get on, I sing my song, I get off, and he goes, "Oh my God, did you smell that smell when we were walking through the crowd?" And I was like, "That was me."
I
nice.
Like that smell.
You're just so free. I love it. I would have been
let me. I'm sorry.
No, go on. You please.
Ellen and Dave as well. Do you have any shame around, in that situation, around farting or around shitting, or is it kind of
I
That's
feel.
just the way.
I mean, I know what Ellen's gonna say. If this is like, if we had like, oh, I know. Ellen is like, well, sorry, I'll speak for myself first. I just love her responses. But I know, for me, I feel like I was way more like uptight about it in my younger years.
Yeah.
Like when I first went to New York in my 20s, I was just like, I did everything in my power not to have to take a shit or like think about it during work, anything. Excuse me. Now it's like, now at this point, I'm like, it just happens, you know. I'm like, look, you know, it's like I've kind of released all that. The farting thing, the only time I don't feel bad about it, I mean, whenever I'm my wife, I've been married for 11 years now. So at this point, we know each other's brand, as they say. So it doesn't really bother me, but I do get a little bit like, you know, if I'm in a public space or something like that, I do get a little kind of like, you know, you know, and I would never ever admit to it. I'd be like, that's not me. In public,
Right.
never. I'm just like, I'm that person.
Wait, Dave, I want you to answer for me because you've known me for 95 episodes. What would I say?
Ellen would say that she would own up to her farts.
Yes, true. Yeah.
which she just did. But I mean, like, if she would just, if we're out and about and she just, you're like, what's that smell? She's like, oh, that's me. No shame. I would never say one word. Like,
And that's great.
yeah.
I mean, it's also, I think about location. Like, if my boyfriend's going down on me, I really don't want to fart. That's like the one time where I'm like trying my hardest.
Well,
not
of course,
to fart,
I mean-
you know? But
Yeah.
then, like,
Have
but
some
if we're
courtesy.
in like a large group of people, I'll like veer towards the denser part of the room of the group of people to really let it rip. So I get just like blast them all, so they all blame each other, and I run away like laughing.
That's so evil.
maniacally. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I'm in an elevator, yes, of course I want to fart. That shit is hilarious. So
Right.
most location. Okay, so I'm okay with farting anywhere except for sex.
I mean, as imagine
I
most
would
people
agree
are.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife and I have this new thing that has only developed in the last couple of months, I would say, where when we fart, you know, say we're just on the couch watching, and it's not audible, we just like, we put up two peace signs.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love that.
So you're like, oh man, you know, and the person's just sitting there.
Oh, I love
How it
that.
started, but yeah, we've just been having fun with that lately.
Oh, that's so
Actually,
good.
that also reminds me, I took a bath the other day and I farted in the bath so hard that it was like hilarious. I was like, I love farting in the bath. It's like your own personal jacuzzi.
I just think of that Eddie Murphy in Trading Places. He's just farting in a tub.
yes, so
That's right.
good.
That's literally what I think about. I haven't taken a bath in quite some time, so next time I do, maybe I'll try that.
Oh my God, it's the best. It's always funny, like to fart in the bath by yourself. You're like, I'm relaxing. This is
Yeah.
hilarious.
This is my time.
My time.
Yeah, and I would say that extends to pools or the ocean as well.
Yes.
Oh
The
yeah.
bath is even more of it's like an alone thing. So there's like a fun kind of silly element of just amusing yourself.
Totally.
Yeah.
Although, real quick, just to go backward, planes. I want to kill everybody on a plane most of the time, and this is actually more recently. Right before the whole lockdown thing, I was coming back from Mexico City from 2 weeks on this beautiful vacation, and this woman next to me, elderly woman, was just farting the entire 4 or 5 hour flight. It was, I thought I'm like, I don't know if I have COVID, but I have something. Like I have something. It was
Back when they didn't know farts could actually spread COVID.
it was
so.
insane. Like just the amount of like just complete. I mean, she was like sleeping, farting, up and like walking around, farting. I mean, yeah. So, but on planes, I really try to I'm just people keep it together. I know we're in a tube, but if we can just please, so yeah.
So you could hear her farts, but could you smell them as well?
Oh yeah, everything. It was awful. And on top of all that, she couldn't figure out how to use the seat buckle, so I had to help her with that.
Oh.
So that was weird. But anyway, you know.
And wasn't she sitting in your seat too?
Oh yeah, she was in her seat when we got there. She spoke no English. My Spanish is, unfortunately, I could understand it better than I could speak it. So it was, and I knew she understood what I was talking about. I mean, it wasn't that hard. I was like, you're in the wrong seat. And I was just like, and she's like, no. This is my seat. I'm like, and I was trying to show the ticket.
I get to play dumb.
And then my wife's just like, just forget it. Who gives a shit? Let's just get home. I'm like, fair enough.
Do you guys know how to say fart in Spanish?
I don't.
I don't know either.
I just know fuego.
Yeah.
It's fire,
It'd
isn't
be
it?
like, your ass is on fire.
I feel like going, muy malo. Like, this is peligroso. Like, just
Peligroso.
it was, but it happens. It was hard to be mad at her because she was so old, but at the same time, I was still just really upset.
When I've been in Europe and we order seltzer water, we always say con gas.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder if you could just say con gas in your butthole.
I guess, yeah, I didn't think about it. I couldn't really put those sentence structures together at the time because I was just so upset. But next time, I'll have my little Google Translate on the ready. Just like, oh my God.
Too funny. Okay, Ted, here's some questions.
All right.
We start off with the most controversial question on the show.
Hit me.
What brand of toilet paper do you use, and do you put it on the roll over or under?
Well, honestly, I don't have brand allegiance with toilet paper. I'll kind of play the field and see what hits my eye in the supermarket or wherever I am. I would say most often of late we seem to be a Cottonelle household. But, as I say, that could change tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as far as the setup, we do it with coming over.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. It's almost like, I don't know if it's mentally, I feel as though I don't want to have to do any extra work, like reach, like even if it's just a centimeter or whatever that winds up being. I like it to be almost reaching out to me.
I completely agree. My co-host, however, does not.
I don't. And I know I've been saying this for the last 20-something episodes, but for the show, yes, I'm an under. I just like the way aesthetically it looks, but outside of this show, I don't care anymore. I'm like, whatever.
He's a liar.
Now, if you had said you were under, I would have been high-fiving the screen because we did a whole episode about this, and there's actually been research studies about this whole thing about how people prefer over versus under. It's like a hotly debated topic, and most people prefer over. Majority of people around the world, I would say,
by a wide majority, or do you know the numbers?
I think it's like 80-20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, people have a lot of hard feelings about it. They have some just deep thoughts about this.
Yeah, I used to call it a softball question, and then we realized it's a hard question. It's controversial. Sure. There's a lot of anger. People get mad. Yes.
Yeah, because people aren't wishy-washy about it. They definitely have their ideas.
We've had a couple wishy-washy people who were like, I don't care. And I'm like,
That's
the biggest excuse used to be, I've heard this a bunch, is like, well, the patent has it going over.
If you look at the original patent.
My response was, for all I know, the guy could have drawn it wrong by accident. Or B, I mean, we can improve lots of things. You would never drive a car like a Model T Ford as you're just driving around New York City with, because you would die. You want airbags, seatbelts, you don't have to, now with a hand crank. I mean, we can improve on these things. And to me, the under is an improvement. But,
I was reminded of, do you know, when you're pulling that first, you're first breaking the seal, that wonderful feeling when you get a fresh roll, you're breaking the seal. But then, for whatever reason, it catches, and then it throws off the whole roll. There's a double pull on one side, and the other. There's something's got to be done. You talk about a patent or whatever. Something's got to be done to fix that, because that can throw off a whole roll for.
Completely agree.
Oh yeah.
I hate so when you're talking about breaking the seal, they almost put a tiny bit of glue so it doesn't unravel. Yeah. And I hate when I think I'm putting it on the roll over and I break that seal and it goes down and it's all of a sudden under, and I'm like, how did it trick me like that?
Yes.
It gets so mad at it.
Yes.
Damn it. Switch it.
Yeah,
I love
that's
it.
True. That is annoying.
Well, what we will say we say this all the time on the show. Get yourself a Snap-on bidet. It'll just, the toilet paper will be. It's at that point. It's just more like a little like a dessert. It's like a little tap, a little pad. It's not pad. Little pat, if you will. Like a Snap-on bidet will just change your life. It really does like help get all the grit, if you will, out.
I've heard that from so many people, and I don't know what my reluctance is. I don't know. I just I think I'm just I'm fearful of the splash.
Enjoying yourself too much.
It could be that. It could be that.
You're definitely going to have a lot of alone time then if you get this bidet. I'm telling you, my friend, it changed my world. Like, I couldn't believe, my wife used to work for his magazine. They did a whole article about one, and she just brought one home, and it sat in my office for I don't know, a couple months, and I just finally decided let me just do this. It took me about 15 minutes, and it it was like one of those you see those movies where the guy takes a weird pill and his eyes dilate and everything goes in. It was like that. It was oh my God, completely just why have I not been using this? So
I have a friend of mine who actually just recently had a job interview with one of those Snap-on bidet companies, and it was for marketing. And so she was asking me, of course, because I'm a shit expert at this point, all these things that she should maybe bring up with marketing. And so I was giving her some ideas, and she was like, one of the things they're having a huge problem with is selling it to straight men. Straight men are very against the idea of using a bidet. So I brainstormed about my own, what do straight men do, but they should use a bidet? Skid marks.
Yes.
There are too many straight men out there that don't wipe properly, and they get skid marks in their undies, and it's disgusting, and you need to stop. So I told her, and she was like, I'll try to pitch that, but I'm not sure how well it's going to go.
She's as you can see in my PowerPoint, skid marks is the number one. It's a laser pointer over there. Or as we call them, deer tracks.
I was like, that is if you shame somebody for having skid marks, they will wash instead of wipe. That's for sure.
Well, I think it's almost part and parcel of the metrosexual kind of trend that's happened over the last decade. So maybe the bidet is the last frontier to kind of get straight men comfortable with that element of their masculinity.
Yeah. I mean, look at my boyfriend didn't want to stick his finger up his ass with the suppository the other day. He was even saying stuff well, what if I enjoy it? I go, you're not going to enjoy a suppository. Just put it up there.
You're just going out and buying suppositories?
Yes. Yeah, I know. It's you're going to leave me for a suppository?
We had a good run, but this is my new love. Oh my God, that is so funny.
So yeah, you should try it. Try it out. It's good.
So when you say a Snap-on bidet, so give me a visual of
it's sort of it's like a little apparatus that sits in the back part of where your toilet seat is. Yeah. So it just connects. It's it just hooks onto the toilet itself. You remove the seat and just put that in there. Kind of place it where you feel comfortable. Hooks that right up to the water tank. Not the actual. Sorry, not the tank itself, but the actual clean water that comes in.
The water that comes out of the wall.
Sure.
Hooks up to that. A couple of screws here and there, and then you just tighten it onto your toilet, and then you're in business.
It's the same water that comes out of your wall that you use to brush your teeth. Yeah. So if it's clean enough for your mouth, it's clean enough for your tiny hole. No tank water. Yeah.
Right.
And it's like a surgical laser strike. I mean, it's just it's like a miner just getting in there and taking care of it. You know what? You just feel confident.
And
you feel
also,
you can take on the day.
To straight men, but a lot of you guys have hairy buttholes, so the water gets through it.
Right.
And they have different versions now. They have ones that you don't even need to connect to your toilet. They have ones that it's kind of like a little wand, a battery app. So you just put it in the back of your toilet or wherever you want, and you just fill it full of water. You can use it that way. They have ones that have hot water and cold water. And there's little adjustments where you can sort of change the stream depending on if you're tall or short. So I love it. I mean, as a straight man,
there's ones that are under $100, and then there's fancy ones.
Yeah, I mean the other alternative, obviously, if you had a big bathroom, I guess you can install a full bidet or get a Toto Japanese toilet that has all those components combined. But if you want to save a little money and maybe you just want to dip your toe into the bidet world, I would suggest getting any kind of Snap-on bidet.
Yeah.
It'll make your life just that much better.
Yes.
So it gives you a solid cleaning, and then you cap that off with just a wipe to kind of get it on your way.
Yeah, it's like a dry. Yeah, so you're using way less TP.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's gotten to the point now. If I go to places that doesn't have a bidet, I just lose my mind. I mean, it's like some weird thing where like it's like I've come into a bunch of money now. I'm like, what do you mean there's no servants here? Like, just I'm supposed to get my ass clean.
You know what I realized recently, Dave? I can't find any of my travel bidets, and I think I've left it places, which is not good.
Oh yeah, you can get a travel bidet, which is basically a little squeezy bottle. I mean, it works. Not as good though. It's just kind of like
not as good, but better than the alternative.
Yeah. So
dry wiping.
Right.
Ted, also, do you sit or stand to wipe your butt?
I sit. Yeah, I sit and lean.
Ah, you're a leaner.
Yeah.
We get very few standers, but we always like to know.
We were shocked when we heard that. I was like, "What?" I didn't realize that was an option. Not that I want that to be an option, because that's just so.
Yeah, no, I like. There are rare occasions, if it's like a messy situation, where maybe I'll give it a stand, but that's like 1 out of 100.
Yeah.
I
have stand a couple times recently at public bathrooms that I had no choice. I never even sat down, but I hovered to poop and kept hovering to wipe.
Right.
So. Right.
Oh yeah, location's important. Like porta potty, I'm not sitting.
No.
Right.
So that's a stand, which is awkward, and it's a nightmare in itself. But standing on top of that.
Well, also the issue with some of those, like a porta potty or some of these public bathrooms, even like they got that barely single ply toilet paper too, which is a real issue.
Yeah.
Terrible.
There's
you don't want to poke through that.
Oh my God.
Boy.
I'm like, I'm going home, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. Peace.
Before COVID, I used to do a lot. I run, and I used to do a lot of races at the New York Runners Club, and they always have like a bazillion porta potties out there, and then this one animal. I remember I thought I just got a brand new stall. I'm like very excited about it. I walk in, I look down to the left, and there's a little like inside the porta potty. There's a little like urinal stand, and someone had taken a shit into that. And that's where being like, this is like, I was so angry at that, because I'm like, really, this is why we can't have, I mean, not nice things, but Jesus Christ, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, this is a good idea. Like, you took a shit in the part where you're supposed to pee. And I just literally have no hope for humanity anymore. I mean, it started a long time ago before that, but that was just like, oh my God.
I mean, the only kind of leeway that I could give someone is, as a man who shit his pants on his way, home from his wedding, like it may have just been that much of an emergency where they're like, I got to get my ass into the first kind of
receptacle.
The first receptacle.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I just feel like at a race where everybody's been there before, I feel like, I don't know, like, but yeah, that could very well be the case.
Or how about, why is there a urinal function in a porta potty anyway? Why can't men just pee in the porta potty?
Because they piss all over the seat.
Well, nobody's sitting on that seat.
Well,
it's disgusting. It's a porta potty.
Well, look, we agree. I'm just telling you what happened to me. Oh.
Ted, also, what's your first memory as a child for poops and farts?
Wow. Gosh, for poops.
Do you remember getting potty trained? Do you remember farting the first time and getting a laugh out of it?
No, I do remember farts were kind of a big thing in our household. Like, cause I'm one of 5. I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters, my mom and dad, and farting was definitely welcome. It was a big part of the, kind of bonding and joking around and stuff. So I definitely have fond memories of like farting around the house.
That's amazing.
Yeah. As far as pooping though, like, I mean, I just remember having younger siblings. Like, I remember like the potty training was almost always going on. But as far as my own early poops, no, I can't really say that I do. I
barely have any either. Although I just remembered something. I was talking to my mother the other day, and she had told me that my dad used to be a teacher a long time ago, and my mother used to work at Kodak in New York City. We live in New York City, or Queens specifically, and my grandma was watching me, and apparently I was like in those little like these old 70s. I don't know what you call them, but they're like little walkers. But it's almost like a round,
Oh, yeah, I know.
like
And with
bumper
the
car.
wheels on it.
Yeah, like bumper car.
Yeah.
So apparently I had to go to the bathroom so bad, I just pooped in my pants, and then my mother said my grandma was chasing me around, and then I just flew down the staircase in this crazy contraption, but didn't and I guess I wound up at the bottom just laughing. Nothing happened. I just I have no recollection of any of this, by the way. But she said
You were covered in poop.
covered in poop, and laughing my ass off apparently. So
That walker thing got thrown out.
I mean, knowing my dad, he probably was like, "No, it's fine. We'll just replace that middle part." There was a diaper on.
That's like a daredevil move, though. I'm going to shit my pants and just throw myself down the staircase.
Completely. I have no recollection of this, but she was telling me the other day when I was talking on her phone, I was dying. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
You got to ask them for some more gems.
Yeah, I know, I do. 'Cause I can't remember any of them. I suppose I repressed that memory. I don't know.
Ted, also, what's your best cure for diarrhea or constipation?
I'm a Pepto guy. Occasionally Tums, but yeah, I feel like a couple of nice swigs of Pepto usually do me right. And I don't know if it's mental, but I have this weird thing that I do. Like if I'm really having severe stomach issues where it's just like diarrhea or whatever, I feel like, and I don't know how this started, like if I kind of gently rub my stomach, just in kind of a circular motion, it's like self-care almost. Like it helps. It helps.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure. I'm one of those.
I do that. Yeah.
It helps you with the diarrhea or the constipation, or both.
It's usually not constipation. It's more like diarrhea, and just like the bowels are like kind of constricting, and like just crazy activity and
Something like that.
Yeah, for sure. That captures it.
And when you rub it, it helps it move out, or helps it settle down?
I would say settle down more than moves out, but it can be both.
Oh, interesting. And do you have a cure for constipation?
I don't, because that hasn't really been an issue for me.
You're very lucky.
Yeah. No, I'm more of a, just like it has to get out. That's, that's the real issue for me. It gets out and it chooses when it happens.
Right. Yeah. You're like, it's the puppet master. You're just like, in the direction.
That's true.
And what are your favorite products you use to help you with pooping? It could be anything from supplements, matches, squatty potty type thing, room sprays.
Yeah, my wife got this poop puree. You guys familiar?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had used that for, nothing really sticks with us. It's more like we go through phases, so like the wipes, we'll use different brands, different types, and then even sometimes go without. But those usually, like, that won't last too long. Usually, like, we need, and we have so many wipes around now with the baby that they're always around. But we have candles, we have, obviously matches. We actually have one of those lighters for a barbecue, like those the gun ones. So yeah, we've got a pretty decent setup. Everything but the Snap-on bidet, so I'm going to have to do my research.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Change your life.
Yeah, completely. And going back to your baby and dealing with baby poop, is there anything that you want to clue in new parents or whatever? I know if he's 9 months, or I don't know if it's a he or she, if they are 9 months, I know you're probably they're starting to walk soon, and then potty training is right around the corner. Are you nervous with these situations?
Well, it's a little bit nervous in terms of just being in a 2-bedroom apartment in Astoria, Queens, where it's kind of tight quarters, and there's plenty of opportunities for him to get into things that he shouldn't be. And, that's exactly where they want to be, wherever they shouldn't be, wires and outlets, and, sharp edges,
Yeah.
So, so that's kind of the thing. But as far as his poop goes, I think what surprised me as a first-time dad like they haven't really smelled too bad until recently. Like the last month or so, we've turned a corner.
Oh, really?
Where it's like,
Has diet changed at all?
Well, yeah, I think that's part of it. He's eating more solid foods, and because he had been strictly breastfeeding up until I can't even remember, maybe 6 months, maybe 7 even, thereabouts. So then we kind of introduced like the the pureed foods, and we'll give him like a piece of avocado or a piece of banana or whatever. So,
and then it got stinkier. That's interesting.
Got pretty stinky pretty quick. Yeah. And, it's almost
are farts in there too?
Yeah. The farts are there, and, they're fun. It's like, I think he understands that it's like a fun thing. Cause like when it happens, we laugh and we enjoy it. So yeah, I hope it'll
be funny when he starts giving you the 2 fingers.
Yeah.
When he farts.
He's like, hey, Pop. He's like, I've taught you well.
I look forward to that day, yeah.
Watch that his first word is the instead of.
Oh, that's so great.
Right.
We had a guest on the show, actually, who Seth Herzog. And he has twins, but they're fraternal, not identical, and he was telling us, which I thought was so interesting, that the babies are basically eating the same stuff, but their poop cycle is completely different.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like one will like be pooping a lot that day and the other one not, and like they're totally all over the place, but they're eating the exact same thing, which is telling you like, and these are baby bodies, like nothing is like fuck their shit up, like it's different. Like if me and my partner eat the same stuff, we also have had like years ahead of us of fucking our shit up. So yeah. But we're interviewing a woman in a couple of weeks who has identical twins, and I want to know about that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you think that's due to the fact that they are fraternal, or I wonder if
that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought because they're fraternal. But the twin thing will be interesting for sure.
Yeah, identical. Yeah.
It'd be a trip.
Yeah.
Now our very, very favorite question of all times, even though we kind of know the answer already.
Mm-hmm.
Bristol 7 hot liquid butt is coming out of you, fast and furious, with no toilet in sight. Do you poop in your pants, or do you go somewhere on the floor, aka the ground?
Well, prior to my wedding experience, where I shit my pants that first day, I think my like kind of favorite not shit my pants, but shitting elsewhere besides the toilet story was, I had just gone to dinner with a friend, and we went to some kind of chain restaurant. I can't even remember what it was, but it was an old friend. We kind of just like spent the night catching up. So I dropped him off, and I had that moment where like, do I ask my friend if I can tear up his bathroom? It wasn't somebody that I saw that often. It was like an old friend,
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, let me see if I can either make it home, or maybe I'll just go to a restaurant or a gas station or whatever it winds up being. So I went to a gas station, and the guy, it was one of those where they're like, nah, sorry, they don't let people use it. Then I went to a restaurant. They were closing up, so it was just like, oh, come on. I mean, I'm the universe. I'm doing my best here.
Yeah.
Be like a responsible citizen. But I got to the parking lot of a Sears. It was like a mall kind of thing, and it was a Sears. And there was a bush, and I just shit all over the bush. And I wiped with my underwear and left them there.
I mean, as anybody would. I mean, what kind of psycho's bringing that back with them?
Back to the lab.
Yeah.
You picked ground, but you ended up using pants to clean up the mess.
Yeah. I'm not the type that, like, if I can avoid shitting my pants, if there's a tree or just, and this was nighttime too, so I had the cover of nighttime. So if I can, I'll find a place to squat and shit and be on my way.
I mean, we all hope that, and with doing this podcast for almost 2 years now, like I have now become a little bit more like, of course I'm going to floor it, but You never know. Circumstances, location.
I mean, again, I always point to the subway. We're all New Yorkers here. We've all been in a subway. There's been a couple of times where I'm like, if this train does not stop at my station soon, there's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have to choose pants. Like, I couldn't imagine just being like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, you're gonna be on some viral video, someone's stupid like Instagram feed, like some teenager. I just can't. You know what? I'm just shitting my pants. I'm going back home, and I'll work out the rest of the details later. Because we had a guest on. It was, again, I always bring it up. He said, he's like, I will never shit my pants again. And I'm like, what about the subway? He's like, I don't care. I'll put my shirt over my head and just drop a squat in the middle of the subway car and just be on my merry way. And I'm like, that's ballsy.
And what was the reason for him coming to that point? He just was talking about shitting his pants
too
once.
Many times.
And he was like, it's like, I'm never letting that happen again.
Well, maybe it's just a larger problem if you're shitting your pants.
Yeah.
He also lives in the Rockaway, so his train is it's too far of a train ride. So I think he just was like, fuck it. I don't want to sit there for an hour in my shitty pants.
Right.
There's no way I could ever get to that point in my life. I'm confident in saying that. I just don't think that'll ever happen.
Dave, actually, my recent story of me shitting in my kitchen garbage can, I was telling a friend of mine that I had to shit in my kitchen garbage can because my partner was in our only toilet, and I was on the phone, so I couldn't like knock on the door and be like, get the fuck out of there. And I literally was like, I got to do it here in the garbage. Like, it's just got to happen.
So wild. I still can't believe you did that.
But while I was on a business call,
did you like mute it? Like what?
Nope.
What
I was like, yep, yep. Wiped with paper towel. But I was describing the story to a friend of mine recently, and he was like already like weirded out and grossed out that I did this. And then I was like, well, what was the alternative? Me shitting my pants? And he was like, you were gonna shit your pants? And like he was in such shock that was my only two options, in the garbage can or my pants. And I was like, yeah, those were literally my only two options. Like, why is that such a shock?
I know you were on a call, but I still would have been like, hey guys, I got to call you back.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't. But Ted, I just literally went in the garbage, took a paper towel, wiped, balled up the garbage, tied it off, ran outside, dumped it in the garbage. My boyfriend was still in the toilet the entire time. I'm still on the phone the entire time.
Wow, that's impressive. I mean, that's like almost like Navy SEAL training.
Yeah,
prepared.
This podcast, though, like I honestly think I like
You're cursed.
to shit my pants. Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Well, I am knock on wood. It has not happened to me yet. I have not shit in my kitchen garbage can. But I will tell you if I do. I will be honest.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, like, I wasn't the first on the podcast to do that. We've had a bunch of guests who've done that stuff, so I knew what to do. It was like, I just like saw the garbage can and I was like, well, it's going to happen. I'm becoming one of my stories.
Well, yeah, I can relate to the, only having one bathroom in the apartment. So there are those situations where your partner's on and maybe they have their own kind of serious thing going on. So they're not going to abdicate the throne. and you have to be resourceful. Yeah. So I have not yet, but that's a great thing to remember. I will grab the garbage can.
Mental notes.
I've thought in the past, like maybe the kitchen sink, but you can't do that. That's like beyond disgusting. Like, yeah. So I was so glad that at that moment I was like, well, my simple human garbage can is going to be my receptacle. So.
Oh my God! That story cracks me up.
I just think it's so funny. I was like telling Chris Harder, Dave, and he was like, "You would have gone in your pants," and I was like, "What do you think my options were? If I'm going in the trash can, what was my other option?"
Oh, the look.
Have you guys? I'm sorry, Dave.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Have you guys done any kind of exploration of like the history of pooping and stuff? Because I was thinking, like, as you were talking about that, even like going back to early human beings and stuff, like obviously we've been so civilized, right, that it's a very natural thing what you did. Like you can't get to a toilet or they can't get to whatever the proper place was going back through history. So you just improvise, but yeah, we have been so socialized, and it is so like there's a specific place for it, and there is a societal shame around it that probably didn't exist years ago.
Oh yeah, we've touched a little bit on that. We've had
we had that woman from Flush on.
Yeah,
She deals with a lot of history about like way back in the day to wipe, because toilet paper isn't even that old. It's maybe like 150 years old. And she said that back in the day there was a communal sponge on a stick.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, wild.
Communal.
That's why now is the best time. I mean, there was issues going on clearly, but now if I'm living in a world where I have to use a communal shit stick, it's just like, think we can do better, people.
Yes.
I mean, at one point before toilet paper, they used to use like little shards of like glass, ceramic. Corn cobs, like old corn husks.
Ooh, man.
Newsprint just laying next to the toilet paper, your seat. So it's just like, we live in a golden time of cleanliness.
Yeah.
I'm almost thinking of like someone running for office back then. It's like, that's a sure thing. If you say like, I have a plan to get this sponge on a stick out forever.
I mean, I'm sure after like, 3 years of doing that, you're probably like, not so bad. I mean, I would be horrified, but
this woman from Flush basically said that like, out of all the things us as humans have done to help our survival in the past like 150 years, sewer systems is literally the number one over even vaccines.
Oh, yeah.
Just having working sewer system is humongous.
Wow.
I mean,
for cleanliness, disease, everything.
Like just back in the days of castles, like the moats were just filled with like feces. Like just, I mean, that's another thing too. People, you hear back like, they used to just drench themselves with like, perfume and all these like aromatics because everyone just must have smelled like horrible. The air, everything, it's just thick. So as much as like things are fucked up right now, it's a nice time to be alive, I guess, considering the alternatives.
Completely.
That's right.
When it comes to toilets anyway, so.
Completely. I think we ought... the last question is your worst public toilet you've seen.
I think...
Especially if you've toured around the world, you probably have come up against...
Yeah. I remember going to like some music festivals, like where those, and you talk about like the amount of use they get, and also the fact that they don't seem to clean them or change them out. You can get this real witch's brew.
Yes.
Yeah. So those, and then also like the heat and the confined space.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of tend to be the worst. Although obviously in New York City, like a lot of public parks and stuff, they've kind of fallen into disrepair where you can get a really shitty, public bathroom. I mean, obviously in certain situations, you're just glad that there's a space to do it. But if I had to pick one, those porta potty situations at like festivals or big events usually take the cake.
Completely.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's the worst.
We just had a story on an episode that hasn't come out yet for right now, but it's coming out soon. Matt Frazier told us the story of being a hippie festival in the early 90s, and a person dropped their baby into a porta potty cesspit.
Yeah.
And a human jumped in to save it, and the baby's fine, but the human died.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
So the parent of the baby died, or the person who went in?
The person who went in.
The person who went in, but we weren't clear if it was like a parent or anything. Just someone just jumped in to try to save the day and did not
Surprisingly,
live.
the baby survived.
Yeah, the baby was fine apparently. But
that's how disgusting those.
Imagine like you growing up and
deadly.
Your parents.
Yes, literally.
Your parents are like talking about. Remember that time we went to like that one festival, and then the kids like, oh, here we go again. Oh
terrible.
God!
I mean, like, especially like hippies have a bad enough. They're such an easy target. Like you don't want to give people extra ammunition. Like people are dying at the hippie festival and bad shit. You know, like some sort of ceremonial thing that God knows when they come in.
Yeah.
Completely, I'm with you. Oh my God.
Ted, do you want to add anything else to this interview? Any subject or topic we left out?
No. I just want to thank you guys. It's been kind of cathartic and unexpectedly refreshing to talk poop with you guys. So
thanks.
I appreciate the opportunity and the platform.
Yeah. Well, before you go, we have one little quick news story. We'll do that, and we'll just wrap up and get you out of here. So
we always like to end the show with a little bit of poop and fart news.
It's
Beautiful.
crazy doing this podcast. The amount of like shit stories that are out there. It's ridiculous.
From legitimate news sources,
like actual news sources. So I'm gonna play this little song, and we'll get into it. This news story comes to us directly from NASA. Boldly go. NASA's new space toilet offers more comfort, improved efficiency for deep space missions.
Wow.
So NASA has developed a new toilet as requested from all the astronauts. Apparently the old version was like just a disaster. So NASA is launching a new space toilet called the Universal Waste Management System, aka UWMS. It's going to be installed at the International Space Station. I think they're going to put two versions of that in there, but right now they're just going to do one first, and then they're going to bring another one back. And these toilets, specifically this one, I think is like for more like short-term missions. They're also working on a new version for like a eventual mission to Mars, which is like a 2-year trip.
Wow.
So, yeah. Oh, there he is. Oh, that's cool. No, that's cool.
Cooper.
Oh. So,
Hi, sign.
yeah, that's awesome. We'll get you out of here. We're almost done with this. So basically, this whole system has set up a whole new way for astronauts to go to the bathroom. They're 65% smaller. They're 40% lighter, and they have improved functions. So I guess it pulls the dookie and the piss out of you a lot easier.
Amazing.
And with this toilet, they're going to be recycling 90% of all the water-based liquids, all the pee, urine, and everything that gets completely recycled to the station, and then astronauts eventually drink that, water that's put back. Because they're basically, again, this is more for like they're developing this for short-term missions, but the whole idea being that if we go to Mars, they have to figure out where they have to recycle everything. Currently, all the doo-doo, if you will, is put into these little capsules and they bring back to Earth. They haven't really figured out a way to do that yet, but the shuttle they ship back to back to Earth, that usually burns up in the atmosphere anyway. So they're kind of like fuck it, but they are working on some kind of issue for that. And it's got a funnel system and a little suction system. So if you're pissing and pooping at the same time. Women were like, we need something that's going to work for us because apparently the other one was designed for just basically men. So that was kind of the big thing. They have these little stirrups and like little handles for you. It's like apparently ergonomic. It's supposed to be like this amazing new, amazing new toilet.
I'm dying to interview somebody who's shit in it.
I mean, me too. But
to me, the most surprising thing about that is that it's taken this long for NASA. You would think they'd be at the cutting edge, especially with their budget, and the greatest minds are working on designing every element of it. So it's almost like surprising that it took this long and that astronauts were complaining about the old one. Yeah.
There's a meeting. They're probably like, look, we'll get to that later. Right now, we just got to make sure that things don't blow up.
Yes.
I'm sure there's a second as an afterthought.
And back when they landed on the moon, they actually left human poop up there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There's poop on the moon.
Or is there? Or did we actually land there? No.
Yeah, exactly. But it reminds me of that song, Whitey on the Moon, but it's actually just poop on the moon.
Poop on the moon. Poop and urine on the moon.
Whitey pooped on the moon.
That's a good t-shirt. There's poop on the moon.
Oh, there we go. We'll give you a cut of those proceeds if we sell this. Well, with that, Ted Alexandro, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you guys.
For those that don't know, where can people find you?
You can find me on social media at Ted Alexandro, and my new special just came out, my new 1-hour special. It's called Cut Up.
Yes.
And
where do people watch it?
That is available free on YouTube. It's there now to stream, and the Shit My Pants story is in fact the closing bit of the hour. So strap in and enjoy. Yeah.
People tune in.
Yeah.
Well, I was a huge fan of Senior Class of Earth. That was like, that's a great record, album, really funny stuff. So I'm sure I can't wait to watch Cut Up. It's going to be great.
Oh, thanks, Dave. Yeah, well, that one is also on YouTube, so you can make it a night and watch both Senior Class of Earth and Cut Up. They're both there on YouTube.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Thanks,
again,
guys.
Thank you so much. Stay safe out there and have fun with the baby.
All right, my pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Happy pooping, everybody, and enjoy your butthole.
Hey Poopy Podcast is brought to you by Perfect 4 Entertainment. Produced by Dave and Ellen, with executive producer Stormy Leather, edited by me, Dave.
For more information, go to heypoopypodcast.com for episodes, merch, and more. Follow us on Instagram at heypoopypodcast and Twitter at heypoopy. Theme song by Jordan Perlson. Hey Poopy.